Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Gurureva Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Chinmayam Vyapyat Sarvam Trailokyam Sacharacharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidyadramikam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Jai Guru. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So we are still in the 11th chapter. Let's go by. Vishwaswarup Darshan, the vision of the cosmic form. And again, all this is allegory. Swamiji always used to say in Hinduism, we do not have mythology. We have mystic symbolism. So the overarching mystic symbolism of this chapter is we are invited to see the self in and through all the forms. So we have again these two fundamental ideas. Brahma Satyam Jagan Nitya. Brahman or consciousness alone is real. Jagat, the phenomenal world, is mithya. It's illusory. It's false. That's not nihilistic though, because we also have Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma from Chandogya. Sarvamidam, all this, it's shop talk. It means the entire phenomenal world. Kalu, verily, is Brahman. Well, is it illusion or is it Brahman? Yes. What do we mean? So when we see the world of name and form, it's all Krishna. It's all consciousness. And the world comes about sankalpena, by means of imagination. And there are two layers of imagination going on. There's the Lord's imagination. Supernovas and stars and black holes and planets and storms and rivers and lions and tigers and bears. Then there's our sankalpa, which is largely, I like this, I don't like that. This is good, that is bad. This is just, that is unjust. This is all my mind's superimposition on an essentially neutral. So here, one of the things that Krishna is showing us is very different than the Judeo-Christian vision. Judeo-Christian vision, God is all good, and when bad things happen, the devil made me do it. So Christianity claims to be monotheistic, but it's not. It has a greater God, Yahweh, and there's this lesser God, the devil, who seems to cause lots of mischief. Vedanta Yoga says it's not monotheistic, it's monistic. What's the difference? Monotheism says there's only one God. Monism says there's only God. It all comes about. It's the way of consciousness. And in the world of name and form, by the Lord's Maya Shakti, we have the Lord's Ishvara Bhava. God's in charge. Krishna says, I've already killed all these people. So what our job is to tune in intuitively. Let me give you a real live example. So I was traveling with a couple friends last night, and this person had a dilemma. He had asked one person to speak at a meeting. And then all of a sudden he found there was this other person who was in town, who was only going to be in town for a couple of days. And he changed his mind. He wanted that person to speak, but he didn't know whether he should, go back on his word or ask the person to wait or blah, 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 blah. So he was asking advice. What should I do? So my advice to him, get quiet, let go of what you want, and listen to what the prophet Isaiah called the still small voice, the deep place of intuition. You'll know what's right. So we're invited to trust a sense of rightness. It's a practice. Any thoughts on this? All right, Mark, what verse are we on this evening?
Starting on 43.
43. Will you help us out, please, tonight? Chapter 11, verse 43. Do you need more light? No. Okay.
पितासि लोकस्य चराचरस्य त्वमस्य पूजश्च गुरुगर्यन् न त्वत्स्मस्त्यभयाधिकः कृतोऽन्यो lokatre lokatreya lokatreya pratim prabhav. You are the father of this world, moving and unmoving. You are to be adored by this world. You are the greatest guru, for there exists none who is equal to you. How can there be then another superior to you in the three worlds, O being of unequal power?
So, to understand that in this world, that consciousness is the substratum, the great God, and by its complete independent will, sankalpena, by means of will and imagination, all this has come about, is coming about, will. Now, there's a slogan that comes from the old Course in Miracles. It's one of the few things that I've hung on to from that text. And it goes like this: I'm frightened because I see a meaningless universe. I see a meaningless universe because I'm in competition with God. I may have the idea, well, God is omniscient, all knowing, omnipotent, all powerful, omnipresent, everywhere present. But he's obviously an underachiever because he's not doing things my way. As soon as I think God's an underachiever, then I start to exert the will, the ego, and I want to make the world different than it is. And that is like trying to go out to the ocean, making the waves stop crashing on the shore. So we want to learn to go with the flow of the Master Jesus, the night before he was crucified. Pray, he said, Father, take this cup from my lips, but nevertheless, not my will, but thy will be done. He knew what was going to happen, that he was likely to be executed. Wasn't too keen on the idea. But then he surrendered, walked his way through. Thy will be done. Thy will be done. It's a wonderful prayer to repeat over and over. So let's parse this. What was the first idea?
You are the father of this world, moving and unmoving.
Yes, so the idea of the origin of it all, not just the good stuff, all of it. The next idea.
You are to be adored by this world.
Yes. So, one of the meditations, I think we touched on this last week, endeavor to see every experience that comes to us as gift. What am I supposed to learn from this experience? Usually boils down to just two things: how to let go and keep our hearts open. This perpetual, radical acceptance of life on life's terms. We talked about Job last week, didn't we? Yes. Yes?
Yes.
Yes. The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Wonderful prayer. It's all gift. I talked about tough gifts last week too. Next idea.
You are the greatest guru.
So the external guru, the external teacher, is a temporary psychological device. The other places guru shows up, first in my life. One of my favorite stories, a Western journalist asked His Holiness the Dalai Lama who his greatest guru was. His Holiness thought for a moment and responded, Mao Zedong. You all know who Mao Zedong was?
Mm-hmm. No.
He was the general in China, which brought communism to China and was in charge of the armies that came in and conquered Tibet and essentially committed genocide and attempted to destroy the religious culture because communism is atheistic. Meaning, Mao was the person that vexed him the most. So if you have someone at work that bugs you, that's your guru. Poke, 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 until we let go, keep our hearts open. One of the things I say all the time, who had an upsetting experience this week? Tell me this is the first time you felt it. If we don't see the lesson, Lord's very patient. She'll bring it around again until we learn. Go, keep our hearts open. So the world itself is guru. And again, I share with you one of my favorite slogans. It's axiomatic that if I'm disturbed, no matter the cause, I'm the one with the klesha, the affliction. I'm the one with the dosha, the defect. Meaning, I have an attachment, I have an expectation, I have an identification. This does not mean I'm wrong and the world is right. Right and wrong has nothing to do with it. The world and its people are oftentimes quite wrong. But if I react, I have the klesha. Well, if I'm cheated, don't I have a right to be angry? What's interesting in all the scriptures I've studied for 40-some years, I have never heard any of the rishis, any of the gurus talk about rights. Don't even deal with the concept. Nobody has the power to make me feel anything. So if there's some situation in the world that's disturbing me, that's my guru. That's the lesson. What am I supposed to learn by this? And then at the deepest level, the guru is your own self. The guru is within you. The literal meaning of guru means heavy. But another very famous etymology, gu means that which is hidden. So the guru is that which reveals what has been hidden or covered or occluded. Next idea.
For there exists none who is equal to you.
Yes. That's pretty straightforward. Next idea.
How can there be then another superior to you in the three worlds?
So, what is that by which everything is known, without which nothing can be known, beyond which there is nothing to know? There is nothing superior to consciousness. Next verse.
Tasmat pranamaya pranidhaya karya prasadye tvam hamish midhyam piteva putrasya sukheva sukhayuha priya priya priyaya priya priyaya rasi deva sodham. Therefore, bowing down, prostrating my body, I crave your forgiveness, adorable Lord. As a father forgiveth his son, a friend, his friend, a lover, his beloved, even so should you forgive me, O Deva.
So, here in the mouth of Arjuna is a klesha that most of us have. I like to say we have our opinions about God. But if you want to know what your real theology is, it will reveal itself in the way in which we pray. Many of us have a pinch hitter God. Oh, God, get me out of this problem. The rest of the time, I don't even think about God. But even when I'm praying earnestly, many of us are taught a prayer like this, both in the East and the West. Oh God, please make Dad give me the car tonight so I can go out with Susie or Bill. And if you do, I promise to stop smoking. It's the kind of prayer many of us do, and it virtually never works. So let's examine what the problem is, which is what Arjun's problem is. Arjun is afraid that God's neurotic. Oh God, please make Dad give me the car. Is your God neurotic? Come on, Vinayak, beg. I love it when you beg. You get a little bit of grace, but on your knees, beg even more. Is that your God? No such God. God is not influenced by our begging. And then what do we want God to do frequently? Manipulate another person. Make dad give me the car. Sometimes we dress it up a little bit better. I think Aunt Mary ought to be cured. So please, God, cure Aunt Mary. We don't know what's best for Aunt Mary. Aunt Mary asked us to pray, we pray. Better prayer is thy will be done. Oh God, please oh God, please make dad give me the car. Is your idea of God an errand boy? Is your idea of God exists to fulfill your desire? So I can go out with Bill or Sue, and then my shame or guilt is like, God does not judge what we do. And then many of us bargain with God. If you do, I promise to stop smoking. God does not care. One of our oldest names for God in the Vedic literature is Surya. Surya means the sun. And the reason is the sun just shines. There's an English language slogan: the sun shines on the just and the unjust. It just does its thing. So also the love, the mercy, the compassion, the succor, the shelter of God is a constant. Just like you and I can stay inside with all the blinds drawn, the sun's shining away. Or I can go outside on a beautiful morning like this morning in the bright, clear sun. The sun's just shining. It isn't withdrawing or bestowing its blessing. So you and I can shut ourselves off from the sunlight of the Spirit. Wow. So egoism, small self in its various forms, my self-centered fear, my resentments. You know what's one of the doshas that few of us we're willing to look at? Self-pity. Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Knock yourself out. But that kind of attitude shuts us off from the grace of God. God's not withdrawing. It's you and I. Resentment, regret for the past. Regret for the past. Harboring deep resentment. Shuts us off. So it is we who need to turn towards the sun. How? Through the abandonment of various notions of self. Any thoughts on this? There's an old slogan, if you don't feel close to God, who moved? But God cannot be manipulated. And in early forms of religion, there's these ideas that the gods can be manipulated through ritual. If it works because we believe in it, not because we've influenced a god. Any thoughts on this? So, Arjun here is afraid Krishna's neurotic. No, I hope I haven't offended you. You can't offend God. You can scream and yell at God. Is it Jonah who says, "You duped me"? Isn't it he? Yep. Yeah, I love that. He's pissed at God. It's okay. God doesn't care. Why am I pissed at God? I didn't get my way. Many of us think if we're connected spiritually, we're going to hit all the green lights of life. To some degree, life does work better because I'm not fighting so damn much. But bad things happen to good people. Everything in life changes. Now, in terms of papam, sin, we are not punished for our sins. We are punished by our sins. If you smoke for 40 years and you get lung cancer, God is not punishing you. You're getting the inevitable results of your actions. Punya, merit. There's no God who's rewarding us. Saint Susie of Ormond. I love her. She's on PBS. If you tell a kid, starting when they're 21 years old, if they put $100 a month into an IRA, just that, by the time they're 65, they will be a millionaire. If you wait till you're 31, it'll only be like 650,000. Punya, we are rewarded for intelligent actions. Oh, God doing it. If you exercise every day and eat healthy, keep your weight down, you'll probably live well and long. God's not rewarding you. You get the inevitable results of your actions. There's no neurotic God. There's no anthropomorphic God. who has the same kinds of character defects as you and me. If that's your God, fire them. Any thoughts on this? All right, next verse.
Adrishtapurvam Trishitosmi Društva Bhayena che Pravayatitham Mano me Tadev me Drashya Deva Rupam Prasiddevesha Jaganivasa. I am delighted, having seen what was never seen before, and yet my mind is distressed with fear. Show me your previous form only, O God, have mercy. O God of gods, O abode of the universe.
So he's had this divine vision. It's been given him by grace, by Krishna, by the Guru. The whole world has melted away. He sees everything as God, past, present, future. Sum up, what does Krishna say he is? I am all devouring time, swallowing everything. It's all Leela. It's all the Lord's play. And frequently, the first time we get the sense of this, the mind gets really thin. The world starts to appear like a transparency. It's overwhelming. It's overwhelming. One of the things that becomes very clear is everything we've ever held as important, of value, sacred, important, is illusion. All the meaning we've put into all that, gone. Wait. We grieve. So Arjun's having that kind of reaction. Let me just go back to seeing things with the ordinary waking state. That's about all I can handle right now. I've had a taste of this, but I can't live from that right now. Oftentimes we do a meditation retreat. We have a very long meditation practice. We are able to have moments of intense renunciation. We see what's there. And sometimes it's too much. The mind comes back. Going on, next verse.
Kiritinam Gadinam Chakrahastam Ichhami Tvam Drushtabaham Tatheva Teneva Rupena Chaturbhujena Sahasraba Baho Bhava Vishwamurte. I desire to see you as before, crowned, bearing a mace, with a discus in hand, in your former form only, having 4 arms, O thousand-armed, O universal form.
Now, I have always thought this is a funny verse. So Krishna and Arjun grow up together. He never thought that this dude was kind of weird. He has 4 arms. So Krishna is pictured with 4 arms because he can do so many things at the same time. He's also pictured in a human form with 2 arms. If you look at the tapestry above the couch, he's only got 2 arms there. So, kind of stepping down the vision from thousands and thousands of limbs to just 4. I can handle that. I can handle a little bit of insight into the divine form of God. Next one.
Shri Bhagwan Uvacha Maya Prasnena Tavarjunendam Rupam Param Darshitam Atma Yogata Tejomayam Vishwam Mantam Adyam Yanme Tat Tavdanyena Na Društapurvam. The Blessed Lord said, graciously by me, O Arjun, this supreme form has been shown to you by my own yoga power, full of splendor, primeval, infinite. This universal form of mine has never been seen by any other than yourself.
So he's going to contradict himself a little later in the chapter. So what he's done is by Guru Kripa, by the grace of the teacher, he's given Arjuna this divine vision of the cosmic form, because no one else has seen it. Now, remember, Arjuna is the universal mumukshu. He is the universal sadhak. He is the universal quester after liberation, the universal shishya, student. So he's you and me, as we're identified as a yogi. So here, once in a great while, by grace, we may see the self in and through the objects of the world. We may not be able to stay there. What causes it? So there's a very important verse in Viveka Chudamani. It's 267. It's one of my favorites. And what it says is, even after realization of the truth, there exists a strong impression that one is the doer and the enjoyer, which is the cause for rebirth. Here, rebirth doesn't just mean you're going to come back in another lifetime. It means I re-identify as an ego. And he says, this needs to be conscientiously rooted out. Steady and continuous identification with the self. So just a momentary vision isn't enough. We have to give up all of these attachments and identifications. And at the end of the verse, Shankara says, the annihilation of the vasanas here and now is considered liberation by the wise. A vasana is an impression left in the mind as the result of previously performed egoistic actions, meaning they have the quality of I-ness and minus. And then I have chintya, I have after the fact rumination over that event. I keep thinking about it. And it creates a vritti. Comes from the root vert. It's like a whirlpool. You spin on that thought. Think through the week, has some event kept coming to your mind? Has it? Vritti? See? Now, a vasana has two powers, what we call a varana shakti and vikshepa shakti. A varana shakti means veiling power. It's the non-apprehension of myself as Brahman, as Krishna. Then comes Vikshepa Shakti, projecting power. Three things are projected. One, Jiva Bhavana. I think I'm a person. Mainly, I think I'm my body. I think I'm an individual. Jiva Bhavana, the attitude or feeling that I'm a person. Some goal. I need to fix the world or I need to fix me. And then the third element, kartavya, literally obligatory action, but it means struggle. That jiva bhavana always feels incomplete, discontent, spiritually impoverished. I need something to be okay. Then I make a goal, and then I struggle toward it. All of that is the result of vasana. So, what Shankara is saying here, the work we need to do to have sthita prajna, what we talked about in the second chapter. What is sthita prajna? Steady wisdom. What does it mean? I always, without effort, know who I am, that I am Brahman. I always, without effort, know the world for what it is. It's all the play of consciousness. It's all okay. And I know how it's come about by means of imagination. I know where happiness is. Happiness is the mind abiding in the self. When I forget that, the cause of it is vasana, which is why I can't maintain divine vision. Any questions about this? It's incredibly important. Well, can't I realize the self and be attached to the world? Mutually exclusive. All right, next verse.
न वेद यज्ञ ध्यानार्न दानिह न च क्रियाभिर्न तपोभिरुग्रह एव रूपं शक्य अहं नुलोके दृष्टु त्वदन्येन कुरु प्रवीर. Neither by the study of the Vedas and sacrifices, nor by gifts, nor by rituals, nor by severe austerities can I be seen in this form in the world of men by any other than yourself, O great hero among the Kurus.
So, again, there's a secret implied here. The root of my problem is spiritual ignorance. The antidote to ignorance is knowledge. It is like if we had a power outage and all the lights went out, and I were to say, oh, Mike, go into the closet and get the broom and sweep out the darkness, would that work? No. Sweeping is not opposed to darkness. The way you dispel darkness is with light. So, study will not remove my suffering. It will not let me see the Lord through the phenomenal world, nor by gifts, nor by asceticism, nor by ritual, nor by pilgrimages. Then why do the scriptures suggest these practices? Because they help to purify the mind and open the heart. But they are essentially preparatory. They of themselves will not do it. And you can't hold on to the ego and see the Lord. So when he says in this world of men, as long as you think you're a person, you cannot have the divine vision. There are only two kinds of people in this world. Those who think they are a person. And that can be thinking, I'm a miserable worm, up to and thinking, oh, I'm powerful. They cannot see the truth. And those who've abandoned this personal sense of self, abandoned this belief in the solidity of an external world, they can see Krishna, see it as themselves. In our four great Mahavakyas from the Vedas, from the Upanishads. First one, Prajnanam Brahma. Brahman is consciousness. Where is it? I am Atma Brahma. It's the self. The self is Brahman. Third one, Tattvamasi. You are that. Find out who you are, you'll find out who Brahman is. The last one, at the moment of realization, the exclamation of the yogi is not, Aham Mahatma, I'm a great soul. It's not, Aham Guru, touch my feet. No, it's Aham Brahmasmi. I am Brahman, not a person. So, mutually exclusive. It's like seeing those like bunnies in the pictures in the funny papers on Sunday. There are 6 bunnies in the picture. Can you find them? You either see them or you don't. Oh, there that one is. You never look at it this way. Or these little optical illusion puzzles. You see the 2 vases, or is it a head facing, etc. All depends on the way you look at it. You either see the world as solid and real, and yourself as an ego, and you're your body, and you're full of suffering. The whole thing shifts. Mutually exclusive visions. Next verse. What number are we on?
49.
Okay. I think we have 56 total in this chapter.
Mate vyathama vimud bhavo drushtva rupam ghoram idham medam vyapet bhiha prati manaha punastvam tadev me midam prapashya. Be not afraid nor bewildered on seeing such a terrible form of mine as this. With your fear dispelled and with gladdened heart, now behold again this form of mine.
So, because Arjun was not yet renounced enough, not yet stable in his meditation enough, Krishna steps the whole thing down. It's okay. Swamiji is always used to say it's an evolution, not a revolution. It's all unfolding. Don't worry about it. So he brings Arjun back into ordinary waking state with his ego identification. Going on.
Sanjay Uvacha Ityarjunam Vasudevastadhoktva Swakam Rupam Drashya Masa Bhuyah Ashvas Yamasa Chebhitamenam Bhutva Punah Saumya Vapur Mahatma. Having thus spoken, Sanjaya said, having thus spoken to Arjuna, Vasudeva again showed his own form, and the great souled one, assuming his gentle form, consoled him who was so terrified.
Yes. So, Krishna, take it easy. And here there's another implication. In, again, referring back to Shankara's Viveka Chudamani. After our section on the qualifications of the fit student, there's one of the qualifications of the fit teacher. And one of the lines is, who's an intimate friend to those who have surrendered to him. One of the things that can be problematic for you and me is we romanticize Guru. So Swamiji, he was just Swamiji. It's like saying father to a priest. Yeah, there's respect, but he puts his pants on one leg at a time. Now they call him Puja Gurudev, worshipful, godlike teacher. He asked, what's your position in the Chinmaya mission? He said, Mukhya Seva, head servant. The relationship with the teacher should be one of friendship. It's okay to argue with the teacher even. Respect, but not fear. Swamiji always wanted us to look him right in the eyes. Not be servile. All right, next verse.
Arjuna Vacha Drushtavedam Manusham Rupam Vasaumyam Janardana Idanimasmi Samvrataha Suchetaha Prakritam Gataha. Arjuna said, having seen this, thy gentle human form, O Janardana, I am now composed and restored to my own nature.
Yes. So now he's back just having Krishna as his friend, as his teacher. I think that's all I want to say on this for now. Next verse.
Shri Bhagwan Uvacha Sudrushta Samidam Rupam Drushtavanasi Yadamam Deva Apyasya Rupasya Nityam Darshana Kamkshana. The Blessed Lord said, very hard indeed it is to see this form of mine which you have seen. Even the gods are ever longing to behold this form.
So the gods here, remember the devas, are the sense organs, and also mean here, no matter how powerful a person is, who still maintains individuality, they cannot see the divine form. They cannot see the self in and through all the objects of the world. Next one.
Naham Vederna Tapassa Na Danena Na Chajya Shakya Evam Vidho Drushtum Drushtavanasi Mam Yatha. Neither by the Vedas, nor by austerity, nor by gift, nor by sacrifices can I be seen in this form as you have seen me in your present mental condition.
So he's repeated this idea. None of the external religious practices will let us see the self in the world. You have to give up your present mental condition. But now Krishna is going to contradict what he said prior. He's going to say, what is it we need to do in order for you and me to attain to the divine vision? Going on.
Bhaktya Tvananya Shakya Ahameva Vam Vidhorjuna Gyatum Drushtum Cha Tatvena Praveshtum Cha Pratam Papa. But by single-minded devotion can I of this form be known and seen in reality, and also entered into, O Parantapa.
So, for the person who has single-minded devotion, and by austerity, by tapas, can the divine vision be seen? What does it mean? In Vivekachudamani, Shankara talks about the 4 qualifications of a fit student. The 4th is mumukshutva, the burning desire for liberation. We have to really want it enough to go through the practices that are suggested. Now, it's very interesting. He's now going to set up the 12th chapter here, which is the yoga of devotion, bhakti yoga. Again, after Shankara has finished his long explanation of the 4 qualifications of a fit student, Viveka, Vairagya, Samadhi, Guna, Mokshutva, he then says, others say that bhakti, devotion alone, is supreme. What do we mean by this? In our 4 branches of yoga, all of them are equal in value, and they are given to us according to our temperaments. There are those of us who contact the world, interact the world through our bodies, through our actions. The scriptures give us karma yoga for people like that. Others of us meet the world through our emotions, through our feelings. We are heart-centered. The scriptures give us bhakti yoga. It's not worse. It's a valid path which will take you all the way to the Supreme. You love God with all your heart and soul and mind and strength until you disappear. Surrendering everything to God. Then there are those who approach the world through their intellect. They want to understand, they want to figure stuff out. People like us are jnana yogis. I'm not going to talk about Raja Yoga right now. But Shankara says the constant attempt to live up to our real nature is also considered devotion. Just like you could be devoted to justice or devoted to equal rights or devoted to some art form like music or dance. It doesn't mean you have to be standing on street corners chanting Hare Krishna. You don't have to do that. You may enjoy that. A whole bunch of us are going to go hear Krishna Das. I have every intention of dancing in the aisle singing Hare Krishna, you know. I love it. But that's not the only way to understand devotion. Devotion can also mean commitment. All right, next verse. What number are we on now? 55. Great. We've got 2 more. We'll make it.
Matkarma matkrana matparmo madbhakta sanghavarjita nivarera sarvabhuteshu ya samamati pandava. He who does actions for me, who looks upon me as the Supreme, who is devoted to me, who is free from attachment, who bears enmity towards none, he comes to me, O Pandava.
So here, what is the Cliff Notes version of Bhakti Yoga? These are the things that we're going to be invited to practice in the next chapter. Take them one at a time. What's the first one?
He who does actions for me.
You have a new employer. You work for God.
Who looks upon me as the Supreme.
Yes. I may want people, places, things, and conditions, but sublimate that into your desire for God.
Who is devoted to me.
Yes. Everything is for God.
Who is free from attachment.
Yes. Let go, let go, let go of this world.
Who bears enmity towards none.
Everybody is Krishna. And if I'm upset at someone, now they're my guru. Next one.
He comes to me, O Pandava.
Yes. And now the last, I think there's one more, right?
No. There you go. 55.
That's the last one?
Yeah.
Okay, I miscounted in my mind. All right, and then there's a little Upanishad at the end of the verse.
Om Tat Sadati Shri Bhagwad Gita
Supanishatsu.
Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Vishwarupa Sanayogo Nama Ekadashodhyaya. Thus, in the Upanishads of the glorious Bhagwad Gita, in the science of the eternal, in the scripture of yoga, in the dialogue between Sri Krishna and Arjuna, the 11th discourse ends, entitled The Yoga of the Vision of the Universal Form.
Okay. And now next week we start one of the most famous chapters. It's short. It's only, I think, a dozen verses next week, which is Bhakti Yoga. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Sri Guru Pyo Namaha.